Greetings, friends, family, loved ones. Earlier today, I gave a description on for me, what it personally is like to be a Christian. And today, I'm now going to discuss the symbiosis on the nature of things. And more will be revealed and is revealed at any given time. This this particular broadcast is not necessarily to be taken in the form of its full context or out of any concernment for the conspiracy behind it of its theory, but we talked about the truth being Jesus and the Father's kingdom, and nobody gets to the Father except through the Son, and that recognition. Now we can talk about more of the theorem or theory behind the nature of things and the makeup of this universe. So one of the things I have been and envisioned in my mind is the symbiotic relationship between a hydrogen nuclear fusion stars like our sun. It's currently the Earth revolves around, and helium fission stars, and the symbiotic relationship that those have, and the correspondence of their communications between their satellites, planets, and the way that the word has described it to me is that there are beings that thrive off of these energies, these solar constructs of an interdimensional energy that collect the byproduct and use it as a source of fuel for itself. And when it arrives at these stars, these alien crafts, so to speak, and collect the gas trading goes on. And so when you go through nuclear fusion, hydrogen nuclear fusion, and then the byproduct is helium-3, which is collected and utilized as a source of energy for the fission stars, which operate off of nuclear fission. So it's like the construct of hot and cold, or yin and yang, or positive, negative energy. And to recognize this source is similar. It's like spurs on Jupiter, for example. You can look it up in the Columbia Encyclopedia, and they're basically these giant lifeless entities that are called spurs, and they operate on Jupiter, and to foreshadow these gaseous giants, these mega sources of energy. There is an explosion of gases, lightnings, and energy that is constantly in motion and being held together by the ether of the universe, the fabric of it. And these are just a small segment of what's going on out there at any given time, and to be gifted with these insights into the questioning of the theory of what's actually like occurring at any given time, as a small being. It's an animal type of source, a human, which is, I consider myself a flesh and blood wouldn't say necessarily sovereign, I'm an American citizen, but basically my entity is a sovereign flesh and blood human being that has been gifted life from an organic source of my mother and my father and my mom and dad and so that's interesting that such a small being can comprehend such things as other orders or imagine the construct of the universe or little basic segments of fragments of these this what's potentially going on out there as far as interdimensional alien energy sources of beings potentially. You call them angels or aliens or other sources of energy that have been constructed with potentially their own individual knowledge of consciousness and the creation of these in the fabric of the universe is amazing. So the thing I'm trying to get at is to ask lots of questions and to do your own research on the makeup and the nature of everything from the eons to the atoms to the protons and the information that is going on around you that make up the fabric of everything from your carpet to your table to the construct of your life, and to recognize these gifts is of such a profound blessing to get to exist and partake of. And I think that's the most important mystery of this theorem that I could potentially bestow upon anybody, is just to acknowledge that we're just a small piece of what's actually happening, and to be blessed in that essence, and recognizing that is profound miracle and a joy to get to partake in. And so if you think about it, oxygen could be an explosive source, hydrogen could be an explosive source, or there could be stars made of oxygen, or stars made utilizing oxygen as a source of energy, or like our sun uses hydrogen. But when you mix hydrogen and two oxygen atoms together, it creates water, which distinguishes fire from what our perspective is, with the tidbit of information that we know of. Granted, there's the potentiality for another source or being to see that differently than the way we see it. We see the earth as a rock or solid, and with a surrounding of a gas, argon and oxygen mixture, and other things that we shoot up there as pollutants, or the carbon being. Yeah, we're carbon beings. We're solid. We're solid in our dimension. So with that, we also have many bugs of good gut energy, good bugs in our stomach. It's like a third brain. There's a lot of activity going on in there, in our mind. It has electrons and chemicals and receptors that trigger these thought processes and these feelings and sensations. The skin is the largest organ on the body. If you touch it, you can sense that energy through the spinal connectivity relating back into the mind and reading that information. So that's a basic outline of some of what is happening, and without rules and without laws and boundaries or the construct of the gift of the nature of things, then we would be left to the whims of the environment, and the chaos would ensue and be like a lot of energy tearing at itself. So to have that understanding, then you have the makeup, the general out. If you have a general outline, then you recognize the importance of following in suit with those rules, that the guidelines of that in your being. But it's not to say not to search for knowledge, have respect for knowledge, and ask questions. Do perceive the miracles at work within oneself and one's ideas, and acknowledge that the miracle of life and the gift of accepting it and choosing to live along spiritual lines, and choosing to gift other people with knowledge and love and compassion, and seek out the wisdom in that spills forth onto you, that if you have the ability to hear this or can read lips and understand the communication is going on. Yeah, it's just to me like the miracle of the essence and things, and the fabrication of things that are happening. So thank you, and have a good day.